Well, if I said relax and get results, does that image tell you that's going to happen? I don't think so. Neither is social media or any of your marketing. We know business is not simple, but there are ways to make it easier. Anybody know what that says? Strategy, exactly. Spelt backwards, because typically that's what my clients do. They don't start with the strategy. They just start at it backwards. How many of you have ever went up or down an escalator when it was off? I remember when my first job just a few years ago when I was in high school, just a few. And so anyway, when I was working at Sears as a tailor, every morning I had to go up and get suits and things I had to work on. So coming down was harder than going up. Did you realize that when you were doing anything with an escalator? And the thing is, you can't depend on your normal. You can't do what you do all the time. It's different when you're on that escalator and it's not moving. It's the same way in business. You can't depend on emotion or what you typically do. You have to have a strategy. You have to plan on what you're doing. Customer care, this was interesting to me, that people are choosing to contact businesses through social media 34.5% more so than any other avenue. Did you realize that? That's huge. That's a big change. So it means if you're not on social media with business, you need to be, because if that's how they're going to contact you, you need to be there. Arby's did a great job when last year they picked up and they tried to do some changes, and you'll notice theirs is all a little humorous, talking about, the Mozzarella King and using an icon previously. It was trying to take what we know in the past and add some humor to it and introduce you. Now, they did not say, go buy our mozzarella sticks, or brand new is our mozzarella sticks, but they got your attention. Now you know they carry mozzarella sticks. Same thing with Dunkin' Donuts. Fly alongside Ellen as she practices for the world's fastest Dunkin' run. Now, is that what she was doing? Obviously not. But they took and put some humor to it. So taking things that are going on, trends and things happening in the world, and adding a little bit of humor to it. So it brought you to pay attention to Dunkin' Donuts. Top 15 most popular social networking sites. How many of you are on Facebook for business? How many of you said, I didn't want to be on Facebook? A lot of people have. And I think what's interesting, if you'll notice the one at the bottom, is Meetup. How Meetup is growing, and it's becoming one of the popular social networking sites. Some of you joined us today because you found us on Meetup. 75% of male internet users are on Facebook, as well as 83% of female internet users. Do you see how that has rose in the last few years? That, it used to be very unbalanced, and it was more women than men. Now it's balancing out because there's value in it. We're seeing that. If you do not have this app on your phone, I highly recommend it. If you're doing any kind of Facebook and you're doing it for business, make sure you have the Facebook Pages Manager, because it allows you to go directly in there and put things on your business and not have to go through your personal to get to it. If you have not enabled Messenger on your Facebook page, you are missing it. This is one of the highest rated platforms right now. And it's really interesting that if you've not allowed people to contact you on Messenger, you may be missing a lot of opportunity. I want you to notice if you go to m.me and then whatever your company name is, of course I'm using MarketVolt here. They do a fabulous job and they stay up on things. And so I want you to notice when you go to the m.me / whatever your company name is, you'll see what came up there immediately was a place for us to sign up. Then when I click on that, it also gave me an opportunity not only to sign up, but to contact MarketVolt. If you don't have that option for them to find you on Facebook, you're missing it. Messenger is where it's at. You'll notice the thing I want you to pay attention to is the live on Facebook. How many of you have done a live Facebook? How many of you have been scared to death to do a live on Facebook? Oh, a few more of you. Interesting. Live, I have to tell you, is what Facebook's paying attention to. You're playing in their playground. You're on their platform. They love you. The thing that's a little different with live compared to doing your two-minute or less videos otherwise is that Facebook would like you to be spending at least 10 minutes on there. And you're going, 10 minutes? Oh my gosh, what am I going to talk about for 10 minutes? But the reason why is Facebook's trying to gather you an audience. So they're putting it out there. Oh, Kathy's on live. Get over here. She's doing something. So that you pay attention. That's why the longer time period compared to your 2 minutes or less that people pay attention. It's as simple as clicking on live. And the thing I want you to realize though, when you're on live, yes, you are live. There's no doubt to it. But you do have an option when you finish that live. If you go, oh, that was not good, you do not have to publish it. You do not have to leave it there. You can delete it. So don't be worried and try a live. When I did the live on this one, I was talking about every coach needs a coach. Don't you agree? Yes. I do. Yes. And so talking about that, just a little bit about what I felt like that coach needed, where was I doing that? In the car. So it doesn't have to be staged. It doesn't have to be in a certain area. It doesn't have to have special lighting. We're not doing professional videos like Steve does. We're just doing a live. We're just giving some information. And how many times do you go, but I don't have anything to say on live? My next one, I'd just been to the dentist. I was talking about customer service. It was not a good experience. I was sure it was a brand new dental hygienist. She'd been with them 17 years. It was not a good experience. So I did not mention names. I would never do that. But I talked about the difference in customer service. She was not concerned what my needs were. And how many of us sometimes get in that same rut? Okay. When you're looking at reviews, this just changed. Previously, if you were not a brick and mortar, you could not get reviews. They just recently changed this last week. And now even if you're a service or product company, you can get reviews. They're on the left-hand side, almost at the bottom, so if you want to review someone. Everyone needs those reviews. That's popular and needed. Twitter users, 36% are millennials. So if your target audience are millennials, where are you going to spend some time? Twitter, obviously. 23% are 30 to 49-year-olds, 21% are 50 to 61-year-olds, and 10% are 65 and over. So if my target market is 65 and over, am I going to waste my time on Twitter? No, because that's exactly what it would be. Twitter now has live as well. You know, one starts it as a pioneer, and then they all continue to follow. So now you click on the little feather up there, and you can see you can go live just like you can on Facebook. Again, spending the time on the platform where your potential clients are hanging out. Almost 80% of time spent on social media platforms happens on the mobile. Do you know what that represents? Anybody know what that number represents? How many times a day on average we touch our phones? Unbelievable, isn't it? Yes. Okay. One area that we tend to forget because we sometimes don't like to ask or we're uncomfortable asking for recommendations or testimonials. But when people say things to you, can I quote you on that? Take it and take it right from there. You know, many times we don't want to go back and ask them on LinkedIn, which is my favorite place for a recommendation because those can't be manipulated. You put what you want on there and no one can change it. So they have more power and they hold more credibility. But ask for those. Can I quote you on that? That smile is because my email is all cleaned out. That might be true on my smile, and Kathy would be much happier if mine were all cleaned out. They're not, just so you know. But do you think that's my target audience? Do you think Kathy would be speaking to that young man that's on his iPad about his email? No. So my marketing is off. So you've got to be very careful that you're not using wrong images. Even that font is harder to read. So be careful with that. Okay, now if Kathy was doing this, do you think she would put this kind of information out there? Might be true, but do you think that would be her marketing? Probably not. Working with a client that works with horses and she's a coach, this was a perfect one because it gives a little bit of information, it has her branding on it, and it has her likes. 75% of all brands on Facebook advertise with them. Keeping that in mind, it's huge. Advertising, you've got a lot of different areas that you can use and benefit from, and Facebook is probably the least expensive to work with. You've got location regarding the country, state, city, zip. And there's advanced targeting, which I would highly recommend that you talk to Will with Red Canoe Media, because that's one of his fortes. You want to make sure your audience reach, though, is a minimum of 10,000. Otherwise, you don't have any room to test and measure. And again, Will can help you with putting pixel and tracking on your website for retargeting. Okay, YouTube is extremely valuable today. It's still what comes up first in the search engines. So make sure, I like to do a short video for YouTube that I can use so it's under 2 minutes to use on Instagram, YouTube, and all across the board. Because if I'm going to use it and spend my time to do it, I like to repurpose it. We're finding out Snapchat people, this is what I'm hearing, is moving over to Instagram. So if you're on Snapchat and you're not on Instagram, you may check that out. 32% of teenagers consider Instagram the place to hang out. That's their social network of choice. I think that's changing. I think the age group is going up much higher very quickly. Okay. On Instagram, it's the same way. You click on your story, and that's where you can begin your video. You have an option on Instagram, whether you do live, where you're out live and then it's gone, or you can do it where it's normal, where it disappears after 24 hours, or you can do what's called boomerang, which is a time-lapse video. Anybody recognize those? We think that's pretty special. But the thing I want you to notice is the change on there. That little ribbon down there allows you to create almost like a Pinterest board so you can save that into collections today. Brand new.
Dad can help you with that.
Absolutely. The thing is to make sure you're looking at your market through their eyes, not yours. Facebook, the best time they're telling us, this is the latest statistics to put information out. Now, I want to remind you that you just make sure you're looking at your own insights and your own analytics, because yours could be different, but this is across the board. But Facebook, the best time is 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Twitter is 12 noon and between 5 and 6 p.m. LinkedIn is 8 a.m., 12 noon, and 5. Think about that. When they're starting, lunchtime, and after work. Okay? Instagram is 2 a.m. and 5 p.m. Pinterest is midnight, 2 a.m., and between 8 and 11 p.m. Can you tell your different markets just by the timing there? Absolutely. Okay, real quick, I want to share with you. I went to a 48-hour breakthrough, and I have had some bad experiences with horses. So when I got there, was I excited that we were working with horses? No, not at all. I was fearful of these horses. I've had these experiences. However, Tasha, who you'll see in the picture there, was very familiar and very comfortable with them. So when we did a team project, the first thing she did was come over and lead the horse and let me get comfortable. I tell you that because none of us got where we are in business by ourselves. And the most important thing is you are in a room full of the most brilliant people in their industries. So I highly suggest you don't fly alone. Okay, Lisa?
Email when we should do what?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Do you want me to just put it on the Facebook page?
That'd be great.
I can do that. Okay.
So the question was...
I'm sorry, she just wanted to know. She wanted to know when. She wants to know if I could put the information on the timing when to post on the social media networks on our Facebook page. So, Karen?
I have a comment. You talked about testimonials are good for the person that we're giving the testimonial for, but they're also a way to get our name out there too. If we believe in someone and we use our name, to me it's a real win-win. If I say I'm Karen Hoffman with the Business Lodge, and Cynthia Carell has done amazing things for us, two people actually win, not just the person.
Absolutely.
I think people forget that.
It's true. What Karen was saying is that it's a win-win. give a testimonial for someone else and you're putting it out there, your information or your company goes with that, and it's a win for you as well as the person that you're complimenting and sharing about their business. Mark?
When going live, what are 3 topics for someone who's not technology savvy enough that you could use that would be impressive versus painful?
Okay, when going live, the first things you can do is take your most frequently asked questions. That's the easiest way to go. And then the next is the questions they should be asking when they're going to work with you. So that's a lot of live events to go through there very quickly.
Karen, how do you enable Messenger?
How do you enable Messenger? It's different on desktop compared to phone, but you just, I'd have to show you, Bob. It'd be easier to show you. Sorry.
I've also heard that if you messenger on your desktop, it goes into some la-la land if you're not connected to the person. But on your phone, you can message and you really will get it. Did that make sense?
Okay, Lisa's talking about on Messenger that she's heard that if you message through your desktop that people may or may not get it, where if you message through your phone, they will get it. I've not had a problem either way that my messages have gotten through, so I don't know any statistics to that. Okay, thank you all very much.